The tropical rainforest is home to a rich diversity of plant and animal species and to many indigenous populations. But the tropical rainforest is also a very lucrative natural resource. In the last 50 years, timber extraction in developing countries has been plagued by corruption and illegality. The government's ability to effectively control the industry is weak. This threatens the sustainable use of the resource and destabilizes the local inhabitants' traditional dependence on the forest. Independent forest monitoring has been developed, initially in Cambodia and Cameroon, as a means of combating illegality, corruption and fraud in the timber industry. The Independent Forest Monitor assists timber-producing countries which have voiced a determination to enforce forest laws and to protect the local communities and the environment. This video provides a guide to independent forest monitoring by documenting the work of Global Witness in Cameroon. The MINFOV, the Ministry of Forest and Wildlife, is in charge of the forests in Cameroon. It allocates logging concessions to local and foreign companies and is responsible for all regulatory and administrative procedures. Local and foreign logging companies are given permits to extract timber from the forest against paying specific taxes. Ideally, in so doing, the companies contribute to the social and economic development of the country by creating jobs for the local populations and revenue for the state. The CCU, the Central Control Unit of the Ministry, is the body in charge of enforcing the law in all forest-related activities. But law enforcement is not an easy task in an extremely lucrative sector which is spread over a large area and subject to numerous pressures. The Independent Forest Monitor is an external party who has no political or commercial interest. It is an impartial observer who monitors the Central Control Unit in law enforcement and who reports on the level of illegality in the country.
Okay, formidable. Impeccable.
To be successful in combating illegality, the monitor must establish a clearly defined mandate with the host government. In Cameroon, the monitor is contracted by the government with active support from donors such as the World Bank, the EU and DFID, the British Development Assistance Agency. Being a contract partner of the monitor, the host government is obliged to support and facilitate the work of the independent monitor and his team. The monitor must be given access to all necessary official documents such as logging titles, permits, maps, production statistics, tax collection documents, records of fines and court decisions. With an official presence in the host country, the monitor, like the law enforcement agency, is also entitled to unrestricted access to any part of the forest or any production facility. Unrestricted access to official documents and to all types of forests are the two essential prerequisites for the monitor to be able to do its work. The monitor must also have the right to publish its observations and recommend actions to the Forest Authority. Free access to documents, free access to forests, and the right to publish means transparency, which is essential in combating illegality. When a concessionaire has been allocated a section of state forest for timber production, it is obliged to follow strict regulations. It has the authorization to fell a limited number of trees of certain species. It must respect the minimum diameter of trees to be felled. Each year, it is only permitted to produce timber from a part of the concession. It is not allowed to cut trees outside the limits of its concession or the annual cutting area. All trees felled must be marked and registered in production records, specifying species, length, diameter and volume. These marks on the logs must also be hammered on the stumps of the felled trees. The most common irregularity is producing timber beyond authorized volumes, either by overcutting within the boundaries of an extraction area or by felling trees outside of its boundaries. These methods are unsustainable, create discontent among the local communities, and violate the law. The law enforcement agencies carry out control missions systematically in all the concessions and sawmills, as well as in forests where there are no felling authorizations. A key element in the work of the Forest Monitor is to accompany the Central Control Unit on its control missions, but the Monitor can also make independent missions. To be successful, every mission must be well prepared, both in terms of paperwork and in terms of logistics. Before undertaking a mission, it is important to gather all official maps and any relevant permit documents. A constructive and professional relationship between the relevant departments of the Ministry, the Law Enforcement Agency and the Monitor is essential for rapid and efficient work.
Non, ça va pour le moment. Je crois qu'on va d'abord analyser les chiffres de l'année dernière et puis on va voir ce qu'on peut faire sur le terrain. Ok, merci, bonne journée.
Ok. Bon, vous faites une bonne mission.
Ok.
A first step of every mission may be to meet the local representative of the Ministry of Forest in the region.
Donc, l'objectif de la mission, c'est de contrôler les activités d'exploitation forestière dans les titres valides. Contrôler les unités de transformation.
This is a helpful way to get a better understanding of current logging activities and possible tensions and conflicts.
C'est eux qui sont à l'origine du problème, parce que la délimitation a été mal faite.